hundreds of miles to roam in any one direction one day, and the next being confined to 1,800 square feet.
Imagine being taken and used for entertainment, losing free will and the ability to seek your own destiny.
Imagine an innocent being spending life behind bars, never understanding why.
Around the globe, thousands of animals have been taken away from nature and confined to small exhibits. Many captive animals lack adequate food and water. They do not have the freedom to roam and explore like their wild brethren.
Innocent animals are tranquilized, captured, and stolen, and used as a prop for onlookers in zoos and other tourist attractions.
As you can see, animals in captivity rarely have a positive fate. We've heard the stories in media. Animals, depressed, stuck in cages instead of their natural forests, or in small pools instead of great oceans. The harsh reality is that many animals do die in captivity. We want to work together to make a change for these animals. We see a future where no animal does have to suffer, and that all their needs are actively defended.
So, to get you started off today, I'm going to talk to you about marine animals. This is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I love the ocean like more than anything on earth. And a little overview of marine wildlife in general. So, animals in the ocean, especially the larger mammals, sharks, things of that nature, they travel literally hundreds of miles a day. They can travel up to literally hundreds of miles a day. They're out there searching for food, and they're important elements of their natural ecosystem. And by taking away, even a lot of times they take away endangered species and try to protect them, but ultimately it's to the detriment of that ecosystem. In reality, they should be protecting the animals there instead of plucking them out. We're going to really be digging in on marine animals and orcas especially today. So orcas, I'm sure all of you are pretty familiar with. They're very intelligent creatures. This is obviously to their detriment though, because that's what makes them so appealing for places like SeaWorld and these institutions to take them and use them for their intelligence, because they can be trained and please people as entertainment. In the wild, they have tons of mental engagement. Their hunting techniques are very complex, very intricate, and they're very social creatures. They're intensely social. This is true of all marine mammals. Bottlenose dolphins, orcas, all marine mammals, seals are all very, very social creatures. But especially orcas, bottlenose dolphins, these are really among the most social and have extremely complex social structures, and they talk to each other just as you and I talk to each other. They literally have conversations with each other. I don't know what they're saying, I wish I did, but they do talk to each other. So this is just a sad little example. Lolita here is in the Miami Seaquarium. She was taken away 47 years ago at 2 years old. This is her entire life. There's no pool in the back. This is an 80-foot long pool. She's a 20-foot long orca, and it's 15 feet deep, so she can't even do a dive. She can hardly do this maneuver. She was taken when she was 2 years old from her mother, just off the coast of Washington State, and brought to Miami Seaquarium for the use of as a tool to entertain people. It's really sad. The thing is, nothing in their evolution and the evolution of any of these wild creatures, especially the marine animals, has prepared them to live in captivity. And the constant noise of the filtration systems and everything going on all day, it's really bad for them. So next I'm going to hand it off to Cass, who's going to talk about zoo animals.
Animals thrive most when they are able to roam, explore, and hunt in the wild. Imagine how you would feel if all of your freedoms were suddenly taken away from you. You wouldn't be able to act the way you naturally would. You would be a prop used only for the benefit of others. When this happens to animals confined to captivity, many of them develop zoochosis. Zoochosis is excessive, repetitive behavior shown by only animals in captivity, not by animals in the wild. Signs of zoochosis include vomiting, self-mutilation, pacing, and circling. Zoochosis truly shows how animals do not belong in captivity because they do not act the way that they should in the wild. And when they show signs of zoochosis, many of them are starved or have harsh fates. A notable example of an animal that did not survive in captivity because he reacted to a certain situation the way he should have if he remained in the jungle is Harambe, which you all probably know about. So one day when a young child accidentally entered Harambe's exhibit, he threw the child around, and the onlookers in the Cincinnati Zoo were very disturbed and worried about the child, but not worried about Harambe, even though he was acting the way he would have if he was in the jungle with other gorillas around him. Authorities shot and instantaneously killed Harambe, and although this was a tragic accident, there could have been ways to prevent it. The best way to prevent this accident from occurring is if Harambe was never locked in captivity. If Harambe was still in the jungle where he should have been in the first place, the child would be safe and Harambe would still be alive today. Next, Dan is going to tell you about the common misconceptions regarding tourism entertainment.
Thanks, Cass. So in addition to zoos and aquariums, there are also tourist attractions outside of these areas. One specifically that is very popular among tourists is swimming with dolphins. When you swim with dolphins, you're often in a small pool. These pools don't allow these dolphins to swim what they normally would up to 40 miles a day. Instead, they're just confined to their small tank. In these tanks, they spend usually about 20% of their time below the water surface. In the ocean, they'll spend up to 80% of their time below the surface. We don't really think about it a lot, but interacting with dolphins is not what they're used to in their normal environment. So this adds heightened stress and anxiety to these dolphins that they're actually forced to be given medication to calm their demeanor, which they would never encounter in the wild, but they regularly encounter in captivity. Our fingernails, our jewelry, rings, necklaces, all that, are all foreign objects to these dolphins. And so it affects them. It affects their skin, and it affects them as it distracts them. Another popular attraction is selfies with tigers, walking with tigers. You see it around in a lot of Asian countries specifically, but how they get these tiger cubs to take pictures with you is a harsh reality. You see, they take these tigers from their mothers at the age of 2 to 3 weeks old. Then they use various fear tactics and pain tactics to completely break their spirits and their natural demeanor so that they are no longer aggressive at all and completely subdued. They're usually left chained up, usually in cages with concrete floors, which is totally different than what they would experience in the wild. National Geographic actually did a study on all of these attractions and found that tiger attractions actually received the lowest animal welfare rating of all attractions. So these tigers, though their pictures might be nice, when the reality of their livelihood in captivity is less than that. Tigers are not a photo prop.
So, fortunately for wild animals, the United Nations has enacted laws to protect them from poachers. The trade of wild animals should be over, however.
The trade still exists, but there are organizations strongly advocating for the Change for Animals. The Change for Animals Foundation maintains that the keeping of animals in captivity only for entertainment is ethically justifiable and is not ethically justifiable and works to strengthen the laws regarding the safeguard of animals in captivity and is committed to raising awareness for the plight of these animals in captivity. The Change for Animals Foundation works with other notable organizations around the globe to protect innocent animals from being confined to captivity.
Our mission is to improve the lives of animals throughout the world and deliver and support animals with positive and lasting change. We have a vision where no animal suffers and their needs are actively defended. As I said before, these tiger attractions have the lowest possible animal welfare rating. When looked online at various tourist websites, it was found that only 18% of people left reviews with concern for animals, and 82% of people said that these attractions were excellent. That's part of the problem. You see, there's importance in awareness. Next time you think about going to a zoo or an aquarium, think about what you've seen today, and think about how it kind of perpetuates the problem and the livelihood of these animals. Awareness paired with your donations can make a change for animals.
These animals need our help. These beings do not belong confined to a tank, exhibit, room, or any room any more than a human being does. Animals deserve to live freely in the wild without human intrusion. It is only fair that we as humans share this earth and not lessen the value of other lives.
Holding innocent animals in captivity is no different than holding an innocent man behind bars, which is why change is essential for positive change for animals.
Together, we can make a change, and we can change the fate of these animals that deserve to prosper in their natural habitats.
Imagine a life where you're in charge of your own decisions and free will.
Imagine a world where animals can live in their native lands devoid of human intervention.
And imagine how much you can make a difference for the lives of these animals. Thank you.